Oh, wow, okay.
You may have stumbled across this Twitter account. Talking animals, glowing unicorns, and levitating shrimp, mingling with serious messages about health and safety. What is going on here?
You know, it's not every day you see a turkey riding a horse while talking about fire safety. So my name's Joseph Galbo, and I am the social media specialist at the Consumer Product Safety Commission. Why put a cooked turkey on a horse? Horse girl energy was a big thing online. Now, we were not going for horse girl energy here necessarily, but I was hoping to channel some horse girl energy with that post specifically.
The U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission is a government agency in charge of protecting the public from, well, everything. Toys, ATVs, cake, you name it. There's a whole metaverse of characters dedicated to bringing important safety information to the American people. We've already met Trent Turkey.
Stand by your pan. Trent Turkey.
There's Barks McWoofins and his pal Chuck the Pigeon. Barks has since retired to Hawaii. There's country music star Turnaround Randy, who only sings about lawnmower safety.
This was the album cover, and then this was Turnaround Randy on tour.
And there's Handsome Ron.
When I was thinking about coming to the agency and interviewing, one of the things we talked about a lot was, you know, if you want to be successful at a smaller organization, which CPSC is, the most effective way to do it is to try to stand out and to try to do something that's, you know, a little bit unique. I don't think anyone expected turkeys on horseback, but that's kind of where we ended up. And, you know, as we experimented and as we tried new things, that's what the public really liked. So we just kept doing it. Every CPSC safety message starts with a problem. Our injury data shows us that people are being hurt by whatever product. And we get that data, and then from that data we decide, okay, here are the main ways that people are being hurt by this product. Here are the primary safety messages that we can share with them to, you know, let them know, hey, here's how you can make sure you don't get hurt with this product. And then we take those messages, and now it's time to communicate them to the public. One thing that's kind of unique about CPSC is that there are emerging challenges that we deal with as new products enter the market. But for the most part, you know, we communicate a lot about things that have been problems for decades. So this fun visual is going to be an enormous, maybe Thanksgiving Day parade-sized Trent Turkey visiting Boston with some safety messages. The challenge you run into is, okay, well, how do we keep coming up with an interesting way to talk about the same thing? And the truth is that when you approach it from a highly creative, you know, perspective, and yeah, you can, you know, have a flying cat, or you can have, you know, a dog driving a car. It just opens up a lot more possibilities for telling people the same thing over and over again.
This messaging became even more important in 2020 as new health and safety challenges emerged during the COVID-19 pandemic.
One of the first things we did when it became obvious that the pandemic was not going to resolve in 2 weeks was take a hard look at all of our graphics and all of the work. And again, have that conversation about, is it appropriate to still communicate in this way, even though we are now living through a life and death situation? And I think we came to a point where we were like, you know, let's trust ourselves. So what we ended up doing was something I, you know, never expected us to do, which was we created an earnest spokes animal, which was Quinn the quarantine fox. At a certain point in the pandemic, Quinn started wishing people good night. There was a lot of messaging about how you could stay safe and protect yourself, but I felt like we were missing that comfort factor that maybe, you know, some people would say you shouldn't expect to get from the government, but I thought was important. Wow, this sucks. I'm sorry, guys. It was sitting at my computer at 11:30 at night, you know, and one of the things no one talks about with working in social media is, you know, some days you feel like you're just constantly watching the world fall apart. And I feel like that was, you know, again, one of those moves that we just tried and we thought, well, let's see how people feel. And it did work out very well. You know, talking about the response we got from folks, it was, you know, just super great to see people kind of say, hey, thank you for doing this. You know, this is a nice thing to like end my day and that type of thing. So yeah, really, really awesome. Good night, kind friends. Tomorrow we care for one another all over again.